and it was completely different. Like, it had strings. Like, that hoodie is not supposed to have strings. And he was like, oh, I don't remember. And I was like, dude, that happened like 10 minutes ago. You really don't remember what this person looks like? And the situation got super complicated, and that's when I got involved. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I'm gonna start exposing every single scammer that I run into at Sneakercon or any other sneaker event. Before this video starts, guys, I wanted to tell you guys about what I'm wearing. So I actually posted me wearing this hoodie and my sweatpants on my story, and a lot of people were asking me where I got it from. This brand is actually called Talentless. Talentless is a brand owned by Scott Disick, and if you guys know anything about style, Scott Disick has some of the best style in men's fashion. Basically what Talentless is high quality, premium basics. It's like some of my favorite stuff. I mean, and honestly guys, for the price point on how high quality this stuff is, it's fairly cheap compared to like other brands out there. Like, this hoodie is so dope. I love the wash on it, the color, it's so comfortable. It's a really good everyday hoodie that you can get like many wears out of. Like, obviously it's like super high quality, it's really nice. Like, the pants I love. It goes with so many different sneakers. I've actually worn this probably like 3 days in a row now. It probably smells really bad. I don't recommend doing that. It looks really good. Like sneakers, like I've actually been wearing this with like Jordans. I wore this with Yeezys. There's a bunch of different colors as well that I'm gonna show you guys. Also, like, paired with shoes. It's so dope. It's so dope. It's super high quality, very good materials, made by Scott Disick. And the great thing about the brand is that you can dress it up or you can dress it down. Like, you can wear this hoodie with like a pair of skinny jeans and some boots, or you could wear this hoodie with like sweatpants. Either way, you're looking super fly. And since I like the brand so much, I wanted to give you guys a coupon code so you guys can get something. Use code YeezyBusta20 for 20% off anything on their store. I guarantee you guys will love the products. And also, I'm gonna be giving away 5 pairs of sweatpants to 5 lucky winners. All you guys have to do to enter the giveaway is like this video, register your email, follow at Talentless on Instagram, and comment done down below and tell me where you're from or like a cool fact about yourself. I'm gonna pick 5 winners 2 weeks from the day this video drops, so make sure you guys enter the giveaway. 1 pair of sweatpants each for free, and make sure you guys use my code YeezyBusta20 to order anything off the website for 20% off. I promise you, they're awesome. I don't even know if you guys can see it in the frame. Honestly, Talentless has been pretty much the only thing I've been wearing like since I got it, so I mean, this stuff is dope. And you know, I'm kind of talentless myself, so you know, it kind of makes sense with me, so that's cool. Also, Talentless has some brand new colors which are super dope. As you guys can see, like, doesn't the golden brown match perfectly with the Air Force One Cactus Jacks? Looks so fire. Trust me guys, you can wear these with anything, like any sneaker, and it's gonna look super dope. What's going on, guys? If you guys are new here, I'm Yeezy Busta. If you guys have been around Busta fam, I appreciate you. And we're back with another video. So to kind of set up the premise of today's video, I wasn't really gonna talk about this situation because it's something that actually happens quite often. But you know, I was just browsing the internet and I just came across this video, and it has almost 400,000 views at the time of this recording. And when I saw this video, I felt like that I should actually explain the situation from my point of view, because the person who put the video out didn't necessarily know all the details. I honestly didn't even notice this person filming. They had a few like sneaky paparazzi angles at some point, which was a bit strange. But I didn't have someone to help me film, so I wasn't really just gonna shove my camera in this person's face as I'm talking to them. And like I said, this happens so often that it doesn't really make me want to pull out my camera every time. You know what I mean? But at Sneakercon, Washington, D.C., like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, this happened.
Give us a recap. My fault. My camera wasn't going.
So I came in first Sneakercon, man, trying to get some shoes. He traded some 2015 Pirate Blacks. To him, he was like, oh man, I got this V-Lone hoodie. Authentic, bro. Go for like 300. I got you. He came back, went to him, and found out it was fake. This man already traded off his shoes. You gotta buy him some new ones.
So just to kind of give you guys an idea of exactly what happened, basically what you guys see on the video is just the aftermath and then the end part of actually what happened. At the beginning of the show, one kid came up to me and he said, Yeezy Busta, I just tried to buy this V-Lone hoodie and I bought it. I realized that it was fake because somebody had legit checked it for me after the fact. It turned out to be fake, so I went to go get my money back, and the guy said he didn't have my cash anymore. It took him a while to sell a few other things and get cash back. Long story short, the guy ended up paying him back. But I had already heard about this V-Lone hoodie. Sometimes people in the trading pit don't necessarily know if their stuff is authentic or not. I would say at Sneakercons, like 99.9% of stuff at like vendors tables is authentic. And then I would say that 99% or 98% of things in the trading pit is authentic. In this case, this kid was selling like a bunch of different types of sneakers, and he had this fake V-Lone hoodie. I guess he didn't know, but I mean, this is what I'm gonna tell you guys now. I know that the kid actually did know that it was fake. Maybe he himself didn't want to believe it. From what I know, and you guys will be able to see in the video, I actually bought a few V-Lone t-shirts at Sneakercon from one dude. I can't actually remember like what his Instagram handle is or anything, but he is actually in the video. You guys can see me talking to him at one point. I bought a few authentic V-Lone pieces from this person. This guy's like a V-Lone collector. He like buys and sells them, and like he really knows his stuff, like to the T. And this guy, let's call him John. So John actually had told the person selling fake V-Lone hoodie, let's call him Ted. So John told Ted that the V-Lone hoodie that he was selling was fake, and he told him, he's like, yo dude, you should put that hoodie away, it's fake, you shouldn't sell it here. No fakes can be sold at Sneakercon, like you shouldn't be selling that hoodie. So John like goes back to his booth and goes about his day. Ted, instead of putting the hoodie away, he actually put it back up for sale. And then the situation that I told you guys at the beginning happened. So basically the kid came up to him, bought the hoodie, realized it was fake, came back and got his money back. So at this point, there's already 2 people who told him that the hoodie was fake. And then he put it out again for sale. So now the situation that happened is what you guys see in the video. This kid sold Ted a pair of pirate black Yeezys, like a pretty worn pair. They were pretty beat from like what they had told me. He traded them for the V-Lone hoodie. So I mean, like a really used pair of pirate blacks goes between $300 and $400, and that V-Lone hoodie was supposedly valued at around $350. So he thought it was an even trade. Obviously he didn't think it was fake. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the times people might forget to get it legit checked or just assume that it's authentic, and he found out that it was fake later on. And then the original person told me that he bought the hoodie, came up to me and was like, yo, same guy who gave me my money back for the hoodie actually just traded it for pirate blacks, and he sold the pirate blacks. Well, I mean, allegedly sold the pirate blacks, like we still don't know. So basically they couldn't just do a trade back anymore, and the situation got super complicated, and that's when I got involved. So what you guys are seeing in the video is basically like when I actually first walked up to the kid. Him and I had a conversation. I heard his side of the story, and then I heard everybody else's sides of the story. So the 3 people who said it was fake all had the same story. The original person who bought it, the guy who I buy V-Lone from Sneakercon that I said is an expert, the last person who actually traded his pirate blacks for the hoodie. Now the 3 of their stories added up, but the seller's story was completely different. He said, nobody ever told me that this was fake. The kid claimed that he thought that the original person who bought it was impulse buying it, and then he regretted it last second. That's why he wanted his money back, so he called it fake. That's such a lame excuse, especially when he knows that the original like V-Lone expert told him it was fake, and instead of putting it away, he actually proceeded to sell it. And then another person buys it, calls it fake, and then he puts it out yet again and trades for a sneaker for which he then sells. I personally don't think he actually sold them or traded them after that, because I asked him, I'm like, hey, can you describe the person so we can try to go find him to get the shoe back and do an even trade or whatever you guys did? And he was like, oh, I don't remember. And I was like, dude, that happened like 10 minutes ago. You really don't remember what this person looks like? And he gave me a very vague description of the person, and I mean, it didn't really help because it was towards the end of the show. A lot of people leave, thousands and thousands of people there. It'd be very difficult to just pinpoint one person, especially without a description. So what I tried to do is I tried to tell Ted, or the person selling the fake V-Lone hoodie or whatever, to actually leave his booth. I would watch his stuff, and the kid would go try to find the person who he sold the pirate blacks to or traded or whatever. But this guy refused to leave his booth. He thought I was gonna steal his stuff. And I told him, I was like, listen, bro. He like had no idea who I was, I guess. He actually asked me to take my mask off while I was talking to him. And I told him, I was like, I can't. So, I mean, which leads me to believe that he had no idea who I was. Which is totally cool. Like, obviously I don't expect everyone to know me, but I told him, I was like, look, man, I'm a YouTuber. Like, if I stole any of your stuff, there's all these cameras rolling. Trust me, I'm not gonna do that. And then he was like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. So then I called over Will from Sneakercon. Will came down to talk to our buddy Ted about the whole situation, and Will told him the same thing. He said, go find the guy. We'll stay here and watch your stuff. Don't worry. And then this kid would not let us stay with his stuff. He actually packed up all his stuff and took it over to the Sneakercon booth and kept it there with the security guards. And then he supposedly went to go look for the person. Now, I actually don't know the resolution of the story. The person who I'm reacting to their videos claimed that Ted had given the guy who he traded the Pirate Blacks with like $350 worth of stuff. I mean, judging by the stuff that he was selling, I didn't really see $350 value, but I guess that's what happened. I'm not exactly sure. If you're watching this video and you're the person who got scammed, like leave a comment down below. Let me know exactly what happened. Normally, Sneakercon is really proactive about situations like this and they get them handled, but I'm not exactly sure what happened, so I don't want to like tell any false narratives. I mean, at the end of the day, that's basically what happened. My biggest problem with the situation was the fact that the seller continued to deny the fact that he knew that it was fake. He had 2 people tell him it was fake prior to him selling it a second time, and I mean, that's just really uncool. If I was selling something and even if I thought it was real and other people were calling it fake, I wouldn't necessarily want to even put it out on my table anymore because I would be suspicious. I'd be like, oh, is this really real? Who did I get this from? Like, I wouldn't even want to put that kind of like energy out that I might have something that's fake. So this kid should have known. He should have just put that hoodie away and just kept it somewhere because I mean, it was obviously fake. I looked at it too, like we had an example of a real one and it was completely different. Like it had strings, like that hoodie is not supposed to have strings. And also the coloring was off and all this other like crazy stuff. So it was 100% fake. And also another part of me didn't really think that that person would have a V-Lone hoodie because the rest of the stuff they were selling were just like basic Air Maxes and stuff. It wasn't like he had like all hype stuff because V-Lone's a really hype brand, right? So you'd think he could have other hype stuff, but no, that wasn't the case at all. Basically, he just lied through his teeth and he continued to lie and he didn't want to actually own up to what happened. I personally think that if he just said like, hey man, I didn't know it was fake, I'm sorry, maybe we would have just confiscated the item and let him stay. Because I mean, he actually did end up getting kicked out like after he took his stuff to try to allegedly go find the person who he sold the Pirate Black to. But all he had to do was just own up to it and be like, hey man, I'm sorry. He actually shouldn't have even had it out to begin with when somebody called it fake. At the beginning, before the doors even opened. It really blew my mind. And the kid who got scammed was a really good sport about it. I'm sure Sneakercon and him like figured something out. Like I said, dude, if you're watching this video, leave a comment, let me know exactly what happened and tell me if it got resolved, because if it didn't, like, I'll help you out too, bro. But yeah, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, no matter where you're going, if it's a Sneakercon or any other sneaker event, or even if it's a sneaker store, I highly recommend that you get everything legit checked before you actually make the transaction. So before you give your money or you trade or anything, because I mean, like you guys can see in this situation, he traded something which then got sold. It makes everything more complicated. If it was money, maybe it would have been a little bit easier just to give it back. At the end of the day, it's not even about like trading versus buying. It's all about making sure you have something that's authentic. It's not awkward to ask somebody to legit check a product off of like a vendor's table. If the vendor is professional and they know their stuff is legit, they should have no issue with it. But if they start having issues with it, then you might have some sort of clue as to what kind of business they're running. And I mean, honestly guys, it's better safe than sorry. As I always say, if it's too good to be true, most of the time it is too good to be true. This situation wasn't necessarily too good to be true. To avoid something like that happening to you, you should get it legit checked with somebody. I mean, you could even ask other vendors around them that sell something similar to take a look at it. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be the legit check booth at Sneakercon. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. I mean, just get a few eyes to look at it. More often than not, if a few people call it fake, it's probably most likely fake. So guys, I was like really bummed out about that situation. Like, I wish it was handled at the beginning. If you guys ever see something fake at a sneaker event, tell like the people who are running the event to try to either get them confiscated or get them kicked out or like whatever it might be. Because at one of the sneaker cons in Los Angeles, I believe that they seized like $10,000 or $20,000 worth of like fake bread toes, which was crazy. And the person was just flipping them all day for like under StockX price and like all this stuff. It just like blows my mind that people think that they can get away with this stuff. Now, do I think that this person was like malicious? Like, no, like I'm blurring out their face. Like, I really don't want to like blast them all over the internet. Video is not to like expose this person or like call them out or anything like that. This video is educational video for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys don't get scammed and get the authentic product. Like, obviously, like this person's probably not going to be allowed back at a sneaker con because of what happened. So just be careful, guys. Don't let this happen to you, and you know, that's pretty much it. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like today's video. Leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I'm gonna start exposing every single scammer that I run into at Sneakercon or any other sneaker event. Make sure you guys like today's video. Join the giveaway, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time.
Damn, she be playing with my mind, though. Never trying to struggle cause somebody else say so. Hey, and she's all about the limelight. Turn my lamp screen, asked her if that works alright. Yeah. She be heavy on my mind cause she bad, yeah. I be sad.